In my previous video, I gave you my honest opinion about the Samsung Soundbar Q930C. And now, I will kindly ask you for your honest and objective opinion on whether I've got a faulty unit. So, let's get started. Hello YouTube. As I mentioned in my previous video, I encountered an issue with the soundbar while watching a movie on Netflix in 5.1 sound. So what happened? In the middle of the movie, the central speaker simply went off and I couldn't hear the dialogue. I had to restart not only the movie but also the Netflix application. And when I returned to the movie, it was working fine again. Initially, I thought this was a software issue with Netflix, some bug, I don't know. However, the very next day, the central speaker stopped working again while I was listening to a song, this time in stereo 2.0 sound. And this time I had to physically press the upper part of the soundbar to revive the sound from this speaker. This led me to believe there might be a hardware issue, possibly a loose connection between the speaker and the soundbar. So I decided to monitor the situation before taking any action. Some of you may ask why I did not react immediately and ship this back to Amazon from where I bought it, or directly to Samsung to get it repaired or replaced. Well, basically because of the same reason I'm not doing this now. Let's please keep in mind that this product in its full package is huge and it's really pain in the neck to ship it to the repair shop. Not to mention that this whole process could mean that I will be left without it for at least a few weeks. And finally, since this has happened sporadically, how would I even prove that something is wrong in order to be fixed? Luckily, depending on how you look at this, I experienced this once more, but this time I managed to record it, so that's why I'm saying luckily. I'm going to play the video for you, but first let me provide some context. This time it happened while listening to another song in Dolby Atmos, although I don't think it changes anything except the fact that now this issue appeared in all three main formats, meaning Dolby 5.1, Stereo and Atmos. I started recording after I had already rewound the song to the beginning, which did not fix the problem. So I went to press the upper part of the soundbar. That's why you will hear the sound volume increases after this physical intervention, or in other words, the central speaker regained its full potential. Another, I would say, big remark and something else I wanted to check with all of you is this crackling, distorted sound. I don't know how to even explain it, like zzz, zzz. You should be able to hear it even on your mobile phones, but even better if you listen to this via headphones. So please take a listen. So, what happened after this? Well, two things. First, I firmly pressed the middle upper part of the soundbar with my palm, and this loss of volume did not happen again, which means for several weeks by now. I guess I somehow fixed it, at least temporarily, because I have a hunch that the speaker would go off again sooner or later. The second thing is that I became obsessed with this crackling sound. Now I probably hear it more than it's needed and then it is real. Let me try to explain. Actually, I will show you a few more clips where you should be able to easily hear this sound, this zzz, zzz. So let's take a listen and I will explain to you in which movie scenes I noticed this. The first two scenes you just saw were from the movie Dune Part 1. The whole video clip is actually called Fall of the Atreides House, and if you want to check this on your own, I put a link in the description of the video where you can download this clip. So there are two spaceships descending and making this crackling sound. The second scene happens just a couple of minutes afterwards when there is a clash between the two armies. Soldiers are using some sort of a phased shield, and whenever it is engaged in battle, or I guess touched by a sword from an enemy, it produces this electric sound. Again, this zzz, zzz. This whole movie clip was played via the app called Plex. The third scene was the opening scene from the latest movie about Flash, when he is about to take a run. And this one is played from an Ultra HD disc and by using the Xbox as a Blu-ray player. By now, I think you may have noticed a pattern here. This crackling sound seems to be connected to the sound of electricity. And this is where I have an issue and would like to hear your opinion. On one hand, you would expect this sound to appear on such occasions when the scene is about electricity. But on the other hand, the sound is simply too realistic and really gets my attention whenever I hear it. That something may be wrong hardware-wise. It's annoying. Before making this video, I tried to investigate whether this is happening only to me. And I managed to find a topic on Reddit from one guy who seems to have experienced the same with the exact same model of the soundbar. He also managed to record the issue which, to him, appears in one particular song playing on YouTube. I will put the link to this video in his comment section and try to reach him. Then I found a few more people reporting this issue with the central speaker, so I'm afraid this is a more widespread issue and could be that I got unlucky to run into a faulty unit. By now, you may be asking what exactly remains unclear to me. What is the dilemma? Why I'm not reporting this to Amazon or to Samsung directly? Well, because actually it's not so straightforward situation. Firstly, if we go back to those two scenes from the movie Dune, I tried to test them by listening on other devices, and interestingly, the crackling sound reappeared when I listened to the sound via the headphones and also via the studio monitors I have on my desk, which obviously means that something went wrong with this particular movie clip or file. Secondly, if we go back to this guy and his example of a song from YouTube, well, you may guess I also tested this and did not experience the same crackling sound. No matter how closely and carefully I listened, I could simply not hear the issue. And I'm actually having some difficulties to find another song where this crackling sound may be noticeable. So I'm left out with the video proof of fixing the issue by physically pressing the soundbar and with the movie Flash. Any other ideas I can test this with? Or any advice or feedback, possibly similar experience? All this would be very useful to me. Again, it is not an easy decision to send this to the repair shop for all the reasons I mentioned before. So I really need to be sure that I do have an issue with this unit and it needs to be repaired or replaced. Thanks in advance to everybody for the feedback. I know that my previous video opened some interesting discussion about uncompressed versus compressed Dolby Atmos and how to reproduce it in a true HD codec in the most convenient way, and I didn't forget about it. Actually, I've been working on that, testing intensively over the last couple of weeks, so for sure stay tuned on that one as well. Until then, bye.